All right. Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm here. So I was just pulling up like 50 tabs to report on Vanguard and BlackRock and how through circular investment they are turning this country into an oligarchy instead of a y'all think it's a democracy, but it's posed as a republic. I don't know, a democratic republic. I'm going to do more research. My point is, that's not for this. This podcast is for rambling on one word. I pick a word or a topic and then I ramble on. That's that. No, but stuff about like truth that is not shared with you through the mainstream media, that's going to be for when I'm done with my buddy Peter. We have a meeting for that tonight. So I decided to talk about sports today. I went from one of the biggest and most unfair situations that impact anyone who listens to this and everyone who doesn't listen to this. It impacts all of us. To just sports. Because I got a lot to say about sports, but I got my cup of Joe here and listen to a little slurp. That's a pretty good Cuppa. Man, it's not as good as the cappuccino my aunt made me on Easter morning. She made us a delicious Easter brunch. We got to hang out with my Aunt Patty. It was a great time. My mom and my sister Mary. Grace finally came home yesterday. So it is nice to have her back. We miss the fuck out of you, Grace. She told me a couple things. She gave me some feedback about the pod, about a Cuppa. She said my voice sounds nice, so that's good. I was a little unsure because most of the time I'm speaking somewhat quietly because the little bean is asleep. Little bean not being Grace, being Murphy. And she told me, I said, I want to put a different song at the beginning of each podcast. And it's hilarious because my mom, I said, Mom, I started posting, it's just a little baloney little podcast. And she went to listen to it and she called me the next day and she's like, yeah, your podcast is broken. And I was like, oh no. Oh my God. What do you mean? She's like, well, when I clicked on it, it's just a picture of you holding a saw and like a song playing. And that's all it is. And I was like, damn. I forgot our attention spans in this world are short. I understand now that you don't want to listen to Gavin DeGraw's I Don't Want to Be for 46 seconds. You just want to hear me. So I'm skipping the song today. And I'm going to, actually, I think I'm going to write a song. Just write a little quip to just put in the beginning, a little jingle. Something very me. Something me. But yeah, this cup of Joe's good. Not as good as the cappuccino I had. I didn't know cappuccinos were fluffy. Like, I'm not the type to go to a Starbucks and be like, can I have a cappuccino? I'd like a low-fat vanilla cappuccino. Extra fluffy. No, that's not me. I'm like give me the extra large, give me the big gulp cold brew with a few shots of espresso. I'm sorry, espresso. 'Cause I express myself. Is that such a crime? Is that such a crime? Come on. Now, sports. Let me start out simple for you. As a child, I played every sport I could get my grubby little hands on. I'm talking t-ball. I'm talking pee-wee soccer. then those upgraded. I'm talking softball, I'm talking soccer, I'm talking volleyball, I'm talking basketball, I'm talking I was never a cheerleader. I tried field hockey once. My poor dad, we went out and got all the shit for field hockey, and I was like, this sucks. I hate it. It's stupid. It's not like just like street hockey at all with just smaller sticks. Maybe I was feeling the penis envy. I don't know. But it was gay. It was fucking gay. Okay, field hockey is fucking stupid. I didn't mention, however, that I did participate in track and field. Now, I'm not talking high school here. I'm not talking college here. I'm talking grade school level. I'm talking my dad is the coach still. That level, not track. He wasn't the coach of track. Track meets, see, I mentioned all these sports and I was fine with those, okay? I wasn't the best. But track was like a nightmare for me. I am not fast. I'm not fast. Not at all. Not even a little bit. And for those of you who don't know much about track, the point is you run. And it's a race. Which means that it's a bunch of kids just running their fucking hearts out. Just running hard and as fast as they can move their little bodies to the finish line. And there's an entire stadium of parents watching you. And you get all the schools in the area together for one track meet. There's not 75 different parishes, because I went to Catholic school. I went to private Catholic school, so I wasn't a saint, anything. I was holy child, okay? Wow, okay, really elite, okay? Our teachers hit harder than their teachers, okay? Okay, so, and the prayers were a lot longer there, okay? My dad didn't sacrifice living in a house and losing the house to send me and my sister to a private school where the prayers were not long, okay? And every other word, you get a smack with a wet noodle from Mrs. McGurk, who was my personal Snape in life. My personal Severus Snape in life was Mrs. McGurk. Every Saturday morning, okay, my dad's used to bringing me to sports. The girls in my class, we would go from a volleyball game into a soccer game, and there'd be 14 girls in a Honda Odyssey, all getting changed in from a volleyball uniform to a soccer uniform at the same time, with one mom speeding down 76, trying to get us to Newtown Square, to St. Anastasia's, to get us there for the soccer game. And we just won volleyball. So we're used to sports, but track, this was new to me. I started track in 7th grade. That was way past the regular prime. Most people start in 4th. So I did not have an advantage. I had a disadvantage. Roll with disadvantage. If I rolled a D20 on my track career with disadvantage, I would have rolled a natural 1 and a 2. Okay, that's how I would have rolled 2 natural 1s. Okay. Now, oh, that's a baby. Oh, that's a sweet baby. That's a bean baby. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. I gave that bean baby some milk. I gave that bean baby some snuggles. And she's in there now snuggling with her dad. The two loves of my life. In there, sleeping. It's the most beautiful image that you can imagine. Now, an image that's not so beautiful that you can imagine is me, 12, in the car with my dad, on the way, it's like 7 in the morning, like on the way to the track meet, where I'd say maybe like 30 different schools would get together, and 4th through 8th grade, all the track kids would compete, and you put like a bunch of kids together, I don't know, based on, I don't know, I think they rigged the competitions. I think they rigged the sets. I don't know what they're called, but like, there would be like a girl from St. Joe's, and then a girl from St. Annie's, and then a girl from Visitation BVM, then like 2 girls from St. Denis, a girl from Holy Cross, and then me and another girl from Holy Child, okay? Be like 10 of us, and we'd all be lined up on the track, right? And it would be free. I mean, it was in spring, so 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning. It's cold. It's usually cold. And oh my God, dude, I would be so nervous. Okay, I'm an actor. Okay, I'm a stage person, and I've been a stage person since I was like born. Like, I was born on the stage. Like I was a stage person my whole life, and I would get so nervous. This has only happened twice in my life that I get the shits out of nerves. Track meets, I guess more than once, but 2 situations. Track meets, and a couple years ago, I almost got caught shoplifting. When we got home, I shit myself. I'm sorry. I'll tell the story another time, because it's not about sports, so it doesn't fit in. And my dad, we'd wake up, and I'd get my little uniform, and we'd get in the car, and we'd be driving, and I'd be squirming a little bit in my seat, getting that devil feeling, like in the bottom half of your torso, where you're like you're like, and you're kind of like pinching your butt cheeks, like you're like, something's happening in there, something's brewing. And my dad would say, do you want to stop? Do you want to just go right to the McDonald's? Or no, Dad, no. I'm fine. It's not going to happen again. Let's go to the Starbucks. I want to get my coffee and my lemon pound cake. And he'd say, they have coffee at the McDonald's we stop at for you to... No, Dad, no. I'm good. I'll be fine. Stop at the Starbucks. My dad, let me be a little bougie. Get a little Starbucks drink. Get a little lemon pound cake, get back in the car, and that coffee, man, that coffee does not help. That coffee does not help. That cup of joe is the devil, when you're about to run in a track meet and come in last every race you run by many seconds. And believe it or not, in track, a second is a year. Believe it or not, in track, a second is like a rank in the military. If you come in a second too late, you're the guy. I would come in so many seconds behind these people that I would be the guy in platoon, the Vietnamese guy who was jumping up and down on one foot that they were shooting at his foot, thinking it was funny. That's me in a track meet. So I'd grab my car, I'd grab my joe, I'd grab my cake, and we'd be in the car, and I'd be drinking. My dad would try to have casual conversations, He's like, actually, Pearl Jam actually started as a band called Mother Love Bone. Did you know that? And Eddie Vedder wasn't even their first singer. Did you know that? In fact, I think it's Chris Cornell, maybe, was part of the band. Did you know that? And I'm like, no, Dad. I didn't know that. And then, I see it in the distance, the McDonald's, and I'm like, I have one moment, because I'm not going to shit myself in the porta potties at the track meet where all the kids from all the other parishes already know me as the weirdo. I'm already known. I'm known as the weirdo, okay? And I'm known as the girl who comes in last in every single race. Because of me, there was an extra 30 seconds between every race. We could have gotten an extra 17 races done in a day if I wasn't in the race. If I hadn't participated, they would have gotten more done. And I'm like, Dad, you gotta pull into the McDonald's. And he's like, huh, honey, what did you say? I'm like, Dad, you gotta pull into McDonald's right now. He's like, I told you this was gonna happen. I'm like, no, Dad. And I'd go in the McDonald's, and I'd cry, and I'd shit, and I'd cry, and I'd go to wash my hands, and then I'd have to go back and shit again, and Why do you think we left at 7 a.m. for a 9 a.m. track meet that was 45 minutes away? Okay. My dad is punctual, dude. He knows what's up. So I get back in the car, my eyes would be red. The coffee he just spent $14 on is gone. Flushed down the drain, went through me like a fucking, bag of rocks through a piece of paper. And he'd let the silence sit for a minute, We put on some Mother Love Bone for a minute, and then he'd turn it down and he'd say, Hannah, you know something. And I'm talking, this is every week. This is like a script. Like, we, put on a performance for ourselves in the car, verbatim, the same thing every week. And he'd say, honey, I know you're nervous, okay? You've done this before. You can do it again. You're not a runner. It is what it is. Running is not your strength. It's not your strong suit. Because I was inarguably the worst competitor in the whole. I'm telling you, it's a high school size stadium or a college size stadium with a track with literally probably hundreds and maybe thousands of parents and kids and family members every week. It was fun. That's why I did it, because it was so fun. He's like, you're not a runner. He said, you're a fantastic writer. You are hilarious on stage. You're a great actor and a great singer. You're not a runner. That's okay. It doesn't mean you should quit. It's a good thing for you to do this. To practice at something that you're not a natural at, that you're never going to be on the Olympic team for. He's like, so what? You move your legs at like an eighth of the speed that the rest of the people do, So what? All these kids are feeling the wind in their face, and you're just, pretty much stationary. There's no wind. I didn't feel wind. I wasn't fast enough for wind. Dude, I would run my ass off. Oh my God, dude. I would go. I would run my fucking brains. Not because I wanted to win. I didn't give a fuck about. I knew I wasn't gonna win. I was fueled by shame. I was fueled by pure shame. Dude, you would see, it would be like, oh, and here comes Jimmy around the finish line. Oh, and Timmy. Oh, and Sam. Oh, and Gina and Tina. There they go. And where's number 5? Oh. Okay. Here, yep, she's going. Okay. All right. There goes Hannah. Yup. Did she just start? Is she really that far back? Okay. Yep. And here we go. She's rounding the first corner out of 6 corners. And everyone else is done. Everyone else is done. They're stretching. They have their water. They got their trophies. They've taken their pictures for winning. And I'm like... I'm just like gagging, dude. The best race of my life. This is not a joke. Okay, this is not made up. This is not a bit. I came in second one time. And it was a race of 2 people. That's true. I got a ribbon. There was only 2 people in the race. I had to place. I don't know if my track teacher did or whatever. She was a math teacher and a track coach, so I don't know if she set that up so that I would. The other girl on my team who sucked ass, who at track and in life, Paige, I'm just kidding. She was one of my best friends my whole life. We just happened to not talk anymore because she got, I think an ego thing. And I think, I probably have an ego thing, and there was a falling out at some point in high school, and neither of us ever moved past it. But she's doing great, dude. She's a fashion designer. She's living her dream in New York. She's very talented. She's great. but she and I were the slowest, you know. She was always better. Like, she was always slightly better than I, but we're not athletic, she and I. And we were always the worst. But it was so cute because the whole stadium would be focused on, you know, these people who won. And then I would be coming around the corner and all the families at Holy Child. It was cute. I mean, it was very supportive. We'd be standing up, cheering me on, clapping for me. And me, I'm a natural performer. So once I got to the side of the track where the families were, where the crowd was, you know, I turned my head to the right, stopped focusing on staying in between the lines, and I would smile and wave, tears coming down my face, vomit on my cheeks. Not from the wind, just because I would kind of seize when I'd throw up because I was doing so much exercise. The best race was I finally made it to the finish line, and I tripped into the finish line. I tripped into it, and I skinned my knees and my chin, and I was crying from running, and I tripped and fell, and I hurt myself. But I stood up, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And before I could even my head was like in the trash can, like one of those trash cans that has like a thing, like a cigarette ashtray on top. So it, like, the hole isn't on top. You don't throw the trash in. It's like on the side. Like, you have to like reach your arm in and then drop it. And I had my head like sideways in there. And I'm like, blah, 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 like throwing up, like out of breath, like aspirating my own vomit, trying to get oxygen back into my body. And, yeah, dude, no, I lost that race too. That would be a cool story if it was like, and I won. It's the only race I ever came in first. Like, no, I worked my ass off every time and I lost every time. Every time. My dad's calling me. Give me a sec. Okay, I'm back. That was just my dad. He was not calling about track or anything like that. He was just calling to check. He's a great dad. He's always trying to check on us, making sure we're okay. But yeah, dude, so basically I totally excelled at track. I was great. It ended up giving me a lot of confidence in a way that I didn't receive before, because I have like first child syndrome, where like no one had seen a baby in like 30 years. So they were like, because that's how old my mom was. So they were like, oh my God, like she's a genius. Oh my God, is she a genius? And like maybe it was above average intelligence until I evened out with the rest of my peers in high school, I think I would say. But my mom's ego kind of bled into me, and she was like, oh my God, you're the best. So I was never bad at anything. No one would ever let me do something I was bad at. So thank God for my dad, because he didn't let me quit. That was his rule. He said, I'm not going to force you to do anything. You sign up for whatever you want, or you don't sign up for whatever you don't want. But if you sign up and you make the commitment, you have to do it. You have to. And that I respect so much. No, but he told me, he's like, yeah, you fucking suck, but that doesn't mean you should quit. And that taught me it's one of the valuable lessons he taught me, for sure. So that's like my relationship with sports. Oh, I mean, I was great at soccer. Like, I kicked every shin I aimed for. Hard. Even through the little pads they put us in. Yeah, I kicked people. For some reason, kids from other schools didn't like me. And that's not me projecting, I swear. I don't assume that people don't like me. I assume people like me. Actually, I'm used to people liking me. So I, like, looking back and being like, oh, the kids from the other school didn't like me. Like, I don't think that's projecting. I don't think my memory's been tainted by emotions that I felt at the time of unworthiness. But perhaps it's true. I don't know. But when I play basketball, I would do the same thing as when I come around the corner for track. And anytime I get the ball, boom, I was performing. I was on stage and I'd smile. That background noise, just so you know, the sounds of the season, that's Grace. She's finally home. Grace, you want to come say hi? She walked over and then walked away. Grace, do you have anything to say about sport?
No.
Sport as a concept.
It's a distraction.
Grace said it's a distraction. Okay. How did I know that my best friend was going to come down here and just hand me a transition like that? Yes. It is a distraction. Sport is a distraction. The sports you see on television are there to distract you. I have a video kind of that touches on this. I understand it's entertainment. I understand it's a way to decompress after a week of working your ass off for a family that doesn't appreciate you the way that you wish they did. I get that. But tell me why you hate John Smith when he's wearing the red shirt, and then when they trade him to your green shirt team, you're like, John Smith's the best. He's the best guy in the league. And last week you were like, John Smith fucking sucks. He's on the red shirt team. I hate the red shirt team because everyone else in my neighborhood hates the red shirt team. So I do too. Because that's what everyone else in my approximate vicinity does. And I want to stick to the status quo. I don't want to stand out. That's embarrassing. I want to like sports too. Because that's what all the other guys do. They watch sport. I love it. You know? It's kind of stupid. I mean, you go, like, I think it's just dumb. Hold on, I need a sip of Joe. Wait, my brain's dying. My brain is dying. Hold on. Dude, and, like, here's my, like, the thing is, like, that, the guy, like, the whole drama with Colin Kaepernick, or Kaepernick, or whatever, who, like, took a knee during the national anthem. Just shut the fuck up about that. Just shut up. My stepdad used to love football, right? He hasn't watched the NFL in, I guess it's been 4 years or 5 years since Kaepernick did that. That's just as retarded as liking a guy tomorrow and hating him yesterday because he changes shirt colors. And if you don't get what I'm saying by that, think the teams have colors. Yeah, no, come and speak into the mic so they can hear you, because your opinion is valuable. Here, hold on. Ready? Wait. Ready. Put on the headphones so you can experience what it feels like. Go ahead.
I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, but I just think it's funny how the Republicans tend to call the Democrats sensitive and little snowflakes, but Nick won't watch.
It's fine.
Our stepdad won't watch football because one guy protested. Like, that's sensitive, and, like...
Yeah. Yes.
I feel like Republicans can be way more sensitive than Democrats sometimes.
Damn, that's true, dude. That's such a good insight. I know she just got up and ran away. But that's such a good insight because it's so true. And, like, I'm the same way. Like, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm definitely more, like, liberal-minded, you know? Probably to a controversial point. And part of the reason is, like, yeah, I think liberals are I should say leftists or liberals, I don't know, are a lot less sensitive than Republicans. And I think part of that can be shown through, it's funny because Republicans will be like, oh, cancel culture. Yeah, cancer sucks. Cancel culture is poison. And then they'll be like, this liberal teacher is gay. Cancel him. It's like, all right, dude. But yeah, no, like, sports are a reflection of the political climate in the country, or a reflection of, not climate, or a reflection of the political situation in the country, where it's a big thing. It's reinforcing in your mind that there are two sides. There's only two. There's only the red team and the blue team, and you have to pick one. And if your team wins, you can turn cars over in the street. If your team loses, you can also turn cars over in the street, because that's what they tell you to do. Have you ever listened to a football game? Have you ever listened to it? Have you ever listened to the trumpets in the beginning? and it's like the mascot like is dancing like on the screen. It's like superimposed over the thing. Tell me this, okay? These guys run around and beat each other up, and they get millions of dollars, okay? I'm not saying that I do anything necessarily that's worth millions of dollars, but why? Why do the athletes get paid so much money? Think about it, please. Think about it. Money is value, okay? And this money is currency. So if they're getting the most money, that means that what they're doing is the most valuable. Okay? Follow me. If what they're doing is the most valuable thing, on the surface, they're just chasing a ball and hitting each other and wearing the same color as their buddies. Okay? What value does that have? If it's none. On the surface level, that has no value whatsoever. In fact, people get horrible concussions. I'm talking mostly about football, just because it's the easiest, most accessible. I mean, personally, I'll go to a baseball game, you know. I don't drink anymore, so now there's really no point, but I'll go to a baseball game. They'll make my dad happy, you know, that means something. The reason it's so valuable is because it's a distraction, okay? And I know that's such a vague statement, but picture it like this, okay? You're an elite Rothschild, Rockefeller, DuPont, one of those, and you have 8 billion people to control. Moms have one kid to control, and they can't handle it, so what do? They put them in front of a screen that will distract them with content that is mind-numbingly, you can't look away. Have you ever watched Dora the Explorer? Dude, oh my God, it's mind-numbing. Boots is somewhere in the forest. Can you point to Boots in the forest? I didn't hear you. Do it again. Uno, dos, tres. Where is Boots? That's for kids, right? Football is for you. Football and baseball is for you to be distracted. Because they don't want you going on CIA.gov, finding where they hide the fucking FOIA documents, and finding out that the CIA has invested millions of dollars in remote viewing on other planets, and that there are people who can remotely view fucking Mars and tell them what longitude and latitude a rock is at. That's a fact, dude. That is on the government. That's on CIA.gov. Okay? And I don't trust the government any more than the next guy. Caden made sure I remembered. He said, remember, do you really trust the CIA? Why would they want you to think some guy's remote viewing on Mars? The more distractions you have, the less you're going to dig. These elites have 8 billion people to babysit and corral and control. What are they going to do? They give them a routine. Every Monday night, here's a game. The big guys push each other around. And then these guys start speaking up during COVID, and they say, yeah, we're not getting the vaccine, dude. And they say, shut the fuck up, sit the fuck down, and play the fucking game. You're not valuable in this way. You don't even know how valuable they are. You don't even know, dude. Side note, in my last podcast, I realized I was doing a lot of you don't know. You don't know Jesus. You people. I fed him already. It's okay. Like I did like a lot of you talk, and I just caught myself doing it, and I realized that's not fun to hear. And I'm sorry about that. That's not an inclusive way of speaking. And like my therapist told me that the second you start saying you to someone, it just looks like a finger in their face. And no one likes that. Anyway, so this kind of derailed from sports. Just remember, sports are a distraction, and it's okay to shit yourself in the McDonald's if you're about to run a track meet and you're 12 and no one likes you. And you know you're going to lose. It's torture knowing you're going to knowing you're going to lose the game in front of 1,000 people who already hate you for who you are. All right. That's been a Cuppa Joe, and the devil, you know, that's me. Oh my God, speaking of devil, oh my God, dude. There's a person who like is crazy and was like telling me about like what their genitals look like, and then was like, I'm a Levian Satanist. And I was like, yeah, I could tell, dude, you're crazy, man. And when I got home, I was in the shower for an hour scrubbing myself, renouncing the devil. I'm not even Catholic. And I'm like, universe, please cleanse all negative energies. Dude, I know what this person's genitals look like. If someone came up to you and said, this is what my genitals look like, wouldn't you call the fucking police? Wouldn't you tell the bartender, yo, this pervert's trying to tell me about his penis. Can you get him out of here? Well, controversial, but this person told me what their genitals, their little mutilated genitals look like because they're on hormones. Dude, yeah. And it would be like a hate crime. If I was like, please, I don't want to hear this. Like, I would be canceled if I was like, I don't want to hear about this right now. So I just took it. But me, I'm a daring person. So I was like, yeah, tell me all about it. I actually went up to him and I was like, hey, it's a trans boy. I was a trans man, I should say. I was like, yo. I was like, anytime you have anything you want to talk about and you're bored and no one to talk to, please hit me up. I want to hear all about it. Listen, I don't fucking hate him because he's trans. I don't hate him at all. I renounce him because he's a Satanist, and I am uncomfortable knowing exactly what his mutilated genitals look like now. But I don't hate him by any means because he's trans. I'm also an oversharer, and on that we relate. We actually do get along in that sense, but I did tell him I don't fuck with Satan like that. He was like, yeah, it's like Buddhism. I said, then why don't you just be a Buddhist? Why do you need to worship a devil? Why don't you just worship yourself? He's like, that's the point. I'm like, why do you do it in Satan's name? He's like, yeah, I guess. We talked about how there's beauty in darkness and sometimes ugliness in light. And that was a really good conversation, but I just had to say it because I felt like possessed by the devil when I left. I was like, I need to get this. Dude, my spine, my Christ consciousness is tingling. Like, I'm going to meditate after this for real. Anyway, I just had to throw that in there. Yeah, there we go. So, talk to you guys tomorrow or next week or whenever the fuck I get time. See ya. Have a good one. Cuppa Joe and the devil, you know.